doing? This is Ruben once again with Ulosophy. If you liked any of my past videos, please subscribe to the channel, like or comment on the videos. It will be greatly appreciated. Today I want to talk about a book and a movie that came out several years ago. I think it came out in 2005, maybe 2004, 2005, 2006, around there. And it's called The Secret. It started as a book, I believe, and then they made it as into a movie slash documentary where they had several speakers or teachers who were familiar with The Secret. Now, The Secret is it's a great book. It's a short, small book, and it gives a basic understanding of what the law of attraction is. It gives a basic idea. There's a movie on it as well that does the same thing. It gives you a basic idea of what the law of attraction is, what it does, how it sort of works, and how you can start benefiting from it and having it work for you. Now, when this body of knowledge came out, this specific body of knowledge, The Secret, it went viral. A lot of people liked it. A lot of people bought the book. A lot of people bought the DVD. A lot of people enjoyed the DVD. A lot of people liked the speakers that were on there because maybe they listened to the speakers before and it was their favorite speaker speaking on there. And people were just fascinating with the idea that you have the ability to create your own destiny, your own reality. I mean, when I first, received that type of knowledge, it wasn't from The Secret, but it was from other sources. When I received that body of knowledge, I was in awe. That was one of the happiest days of my life when I realized that and I heard that information. And the way I was, it was explained to me was more in like, here's the evidence, right? And I was in awe. It was a great moment in my life when you realize how powerful you are, and even if it's just for an instant, but just realizing or considering how powerful you are and how you have full dominion over your life, over your reality, and what you experience. It's a great feeling. But then you go into the idea that you also, as you create your reality, you create good and you create bad. And unfortunately, for most people, their life consists of more bad experiences than, quote, good experiences. And it's a shame. And that is probably one of the hardest things to accept when you hear this body of knowledge being explained to you. The idea that, okay, what you mean I created this disease? I'm diabetic. What you mean I created it? I didn't want it. How did I create it? You know, or stuff that really touch the emotion side of a human being. Like, for example, what about like 9/11 or the Holocaust, or somebody being raped, right? Or a child being abused. Like, how you explain that? Or a baby dying, right? How you explain that? What you mean everybody craves a reality? A baby can't even comprehend fully what's going on. Well, the whole thing goes much deeper than The Secret, right? The Secret is just a basic understanding of what the law of attraction is. But from there, people have more questions. Some accept it and don't try to figure everything out, as you shouldn't. There's no reason to have everything figured out. You will still get great benefit from whatever good knowledge you're being engaged in. I mean, a good example is a car. I really doubt that most of you know exactly how every single part of the car works, right? I mean, do you know how it works, right? All you know is that it requires gas and a tune up every now and then, and just drive. I mean, you're not gonna say no. Well, I'm not gonna drive it until I learn every single thing of how this piece of machinery works. No, you don't. You don't do that. You just get in the car and just drive. You don't try to figure everything out. Same thing with life. Sometimes we put too much emphasis on things when we shouldn't. When there's really no, you know, there's really no gain from it. You know, sure, it's interesting. I mean, sure, wouldn't it be interesting to know, exactly how a car worked and what every single part of the car consists of, and how it you know is in tune with the rest of the pieces and makes everything work. Sure, it's interesting, but it's not necessary for you to drive. The same thing here. It's for people who have all these questions, like some that I just mentioned, like what about like people in 9/11 or the Holocaust or a victim like being raped and or a child dying, like I would suggest you don't focus on that for now. Focus on the positive side. Focus on the idea that you create your reality. You create your reality, and see, that's the key. You create your reality. You don't create anybody else's. And there's a difference between sympathy and empathy. Fortunately, most people have sympathy when they should actually have empathy. Sympathy sympathy is when you feel bad with that other person who's going through that bad situation. There's no way of you helping that person when you feel bad yourself. For example, if I have a friend, he's going to a terrible experience or incident, for me to feel as bad or better than what he or she feels, I'm doing a huge disservice. I mean, I'm not doing any service at all. If anything, I'm hurting. It's like two depressed people. Fire against fire. You're not gonna stop the fire that way. The house is still gonna burn down. But if I have empathy, which means that I am aware of what's going on, I'm aware of my friend's situation, and I put it out in the open where we can talk about it because I'm aware. Then I don't feel bad. I can offer something to my friend. My friend will feel better just by the energy of me not feeling as bad as him or her. I will definitely do some type of service, and that person will feel much better. It's like when a person who has a very high vibration, like they're very positive, or they have a high vibration. Um, for example, in India, there's a lot of people like that who have very high levels of vibration, where people get in line and they get in these lines for hours, just to get a chance to hug this person who is enlightened, who has a high vibration. The reason for it is because of the experience that they feel. They feel peace. They feel almost like if you were touched by God, right? And the reason is because, as we talked about before, your brain is a receiver and a broadcaster of frequency. We all are. So just like the enlightened person, just like you, they have a brain Thus, they have a broadcaster and a receiver of frequency, and so do you. So when you get next to those people, you receive their feelings, what they're feeling, and it has the ability, you know, to affect you. It has the ability to affect you, right? It can't control you, but it has the ability to sort of persuade you or influence you is the perfect word I'm looking for. It can influence you, just like the positive can influence you for a more positive, outcome for you. So does the negative. When someone negative, when someone you're next to a negative person, you know, if you're not careful and you don't have strong enough shield, you're not positive enough, you will be influenced by the negativity. So that is how that goes. But back to the actual book and movie, it gives a basic idea of a basic explanation of what the law of attraction is, and a lot of the speakers on there, they're great. I've heard many of their information, and they give a very good basic idea of what the law of attraction is. I would recommend that book, and I would recommend the movie for you to get the book and read the book, and get the movie and watch the movie. It's very entertaining and enlightening. And the speakers on there are great. If you like the way they speak, or if you were touched by them in the movie, you know feel free to get more of their information or their data. But that's what it is. It gives a basic idea of what the law of attraction is. And what is the law of attraction? Well, law of attraction says like attracts like. It's you give off a frequency from who you are. You give off this frequency, and that frequency has to come back, has to manifest itself physically into your experience. That's the law of attraction. That's why it's a law. So, for example, if I want beautiful, dynamic, romantic relationship, I focus on that. I focus on having it. I focus on the good feelings that I will feel when I have it, and I will focus on it. How my you know soulmate would look, or sort of look. I get all these good feelings bubbling up inside me. When I'm doing this, I'm sending out a frequency to the universe, or to God, in other words. It's like prayer, the same thing as prayer, right? For the longest, it was called prayer. The same thing here. It's you're praying, or you're sending out a frequency, and that frequency, if I do it long enough, consistent enough, and with no, what's the word, with no resistance, uh, very soon that experience will be in my life. And trust me, I've tested this a lot. I've known this body of knowledge for a lot of years now, so I've tested it, I've tweaked it on myself, and it works. It definitely works. So that's basically what the law of attraction is. But also, you could attract back to you, and basically, you attract everything that's in your life. So, everything that you go through today, and everything that you've gone through, and everything you will go through, you have and will attract it. You've attracted. See, that's another good point of what this movie is. Taking responsibility for your life. When you take responsibility for your life, then what ends up happening is you feel more free. For the longest, you believe that another entity has control over you. For example, maybe God or whatever. But even though, and the Bible says that God gave you free will, but yet you still believe that, you know, you're like a puppet, and you're being moved around. And the truth is that you're not. And this and the law of attraction, I want to specify this as well. It doesn't go against religion. If you're a person, if you're a born again Christian, or if you're a Jewish person, Hindu, whatever your religion, Buddhist, whatever your religion may be, this the idea of the law of attraction doesn't go against religion. The law of attraction is a law. It's a physical law. It's like the law of gravity. Does religion have a problem with the law of gravity? Or does the law of gravity go against religion? I mean, no, it doesn't. The same thing with the law of attraction. The law of attraction is a law. It doesn't go against religion. Actually, if I can speak on Christianity, and I'm sure I've talked to many other people who are in different religions, and they can concur with me on this. It's on there. It's in those ancient texts. It's all over the Bible. It's all over the Bible where this in the biblical scriptures it says, "You have not because you ask not." Right, and you know, call on those things as if they were, right? And then all this other instances and stories that go along with this. But that is what the law of attraction is. It's a basic idea. I would suggest, like I said, read the book The Secret, get the DVD The Secret, and watch it. It's a good movie and it's a great book. Easy to read, fast read. And go over it. Like I said, 5 minutes to learn, a lifetime to master. Oh, I know what law of attraction is. I don't need to read the book. There you go. You're losing you're not being teachable. You're losing your teachability index. Your teachability index is going down. No good. You will fail. The basics is your foundation. This is the deeper your foundation, the taller your building can be. So how taller do you want your building to be? How tall? You want a skyscraper, or you just want a one bedroom home? It's up to you. The deeper your foundation, the taller your building can be. So thank you for watching this video. If you like this video, please subscribe to the channel. Please like or comment on the video. It will be greatly appreciated. See you guys next time.